I mean, we've seen worse in Macross.
I'm having a hard time remembering.
I don't want to remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, now he's drugged her. Now it's not worse. Now it's exactly the same. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with episode 2 of Macross 2. As I said near the end of last episode, we're attempting to record 3 episodes back-to-back today, so look for episode 4 to have notes and board and commentary or whatever from what we've seen so far. But right now, we're essentially just plowing our way through at least the opening segment of whatever Macross 2 wants to be about. Like, I don't know if there's some greater meta-narrative at play here. Like, it doesn't feel like most of Macross so far has had a message, other than war is bad, but that's just the greater message of any war anime, really. Or, I don't want to say here, not war anime, war Gundam, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Macross, greater, long-told war story things. That war is bad is the end-all of essentially it. I don't know if
and the power and the power of music in this case of Macross.
I don't know if that's a message thing. I think that's just the basis of the show.
Yeah.
Like, because, what's like Gundam isn't like, also Gundams are cool. No, that's just a thing of Gundams, right? Mechs are cool. Yeah. Or Legend of the Galactic Heroes, eat the rich. I don't know.
Also, in this show, it's the first time we have a battle, basically battle of the bands, right? Two sides that use music. We see that much later in Delta, but this was the first time
I haven't seen. Right? Maybe I wasn't paying it that much attention. I didn't see any. I heard music. I didn't think it was diegetic.
It was diegetic.
I didn't see anybody. Okay, I saw Ishtar doing, like, maybe it's not the benefit of having watched Zeta Live before we did this.
Yeah.
Where I'm just used to seeing like Hines singing to the Windemirians, and of course Walkir singing to everybody. But her just going doesn't really mean anything to me, especially when there's nothing visually shown to say that it's having any effect on the Zentradi side.
No, yeah, actually it is, because again, this when you go back, and we're both going to have to go back and see it. There's a point where the Zentradi are going like fighting, and then when she starts singing, one of the Zentradi kind of smirks, like, "Okay, here we go," and the battle literally changes.
In my memory, again, having not gone back and rewatched it yet, that's not what's happening. They're doing that. But in my memory, it's not her singing that causes them to come back to. It's them attacking the projectors.
No, well, they attack the projectors because they even say, "Oh, they're using they countered the Minmay strategy. It's not working." Right?
Again, you're phrasing things to make it sound like what you're saying is correct. That's not the way I remember it. I didn't hear them say they're countering it. All I heard them say was the Minmay effect isn't working.
Minmay attack, yeah.
Yeah, the Minmay attack isn't working. So I didn't hear them say they're countering it. Like, obviously I can put into context what you're saying and see that, if she was going, then it must be something, right? But that's not how I remember it happening in the episode as I was watching it.
Again, I think also it's like...
Also, we have no context for them doing that, because it's like the first time. If we're considering SDF Macross and then Macross 2, that there's no context for Zentradi doing that before. Because even Quamzim getting cultured tonight isn't doing that shit. Yeah. He'd be anti that shit.
I'm close to doing spoilers, so I'm going to shut up right now.
I mean, you shouldn't, because literally 2 recordings and we're going to be all the way through Macross 2.
Yeah, true, but I don't want to spoil it to you.
No, that's what I'm saying. You should. I said you shouldn't, because literally, when I say 2 recordings, I'm talking about 2 weeks of recording. We're going to be done with Macross 2, other than watching the movie. So there won't be any spoilers at that point. You'll just say whatever you're going to say.
Yeah. I would invite you to, when you're...
Florida,
what we do,
to see the bayou. Wrong state.
No. That would be Louisiana. I do know my geography. a little bit. Anyway, what I'm
America's
saying
a big
is, I
place.
think it, unlike what happens in Delta, which is pretty clear, like they make these scenes to be very clear. Here, it's very fast paced, so it's easy to miss. But I think you're going to pick it up when you watch it.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
that's
because
what we do. We rewatch the episode and take
I won't be
notes.
making stupid
Yeah,
shit comments either.
Yeah. So
Again, there's the first watch, which is just to enjoy, have fun, comment. You know, people who are watching our reactions don't seem to understand that sometimes. That I'm being flippant because the next episode is going to have my thoughts about the actual what was going on. Well, I say let's go ahead and hop on in and see what episode 2 has for us.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, it's an all-right opening. I think I appreciate the animation style more than what I'm hearing from the song.
I find the music of the OP to be an earworm for me, but, you know.
It is definitely a 90s anime opening song.
Yeah.
It's just not an earworm for me because I think earworms for me tend to have repetition. You know, the whole Subway sandwiches commercial.
Yeah.
My media team tells me that if you do everything 3 times in a row, you'll get better. And it's the Subway logo behind the salami cutter thing. It's like, just keep repeating it. That's why I talked about before in the opening one where I was talking about Macross Dynamite 7 Dynamite or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the dynamite. It's repetition.
Mm.
Whereas I'm not saying I don't like generic 90s anime openings.
Yeah.
I love them. Escaflowne's opening really got on me. For some reason, I can't think of a bunch of other ones at the top of my head. Oh, My Goddess, obviously. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Maybe Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Yeah.
But
and they do insist of having her Ishtar being naked in this, in this intro.
I just told you how Macross 30 is very horny, so apparently it's just a theme. Apparently the main characters we watch in these shows are all constantly thinking about how hot the women are around them.
What's happening to that guy?
Maybe they already broadcast the porn. Looks like that guy's clearly from Tron. Don't worry, I got an actual SNES. So, is it mind control? Wouldn't be Macross without mind control. Though, to be fair, this is before Macross Plus. But they're already talking about I can't controlling them without emulators. Which seems like mind control. We've moved all the landmarks into one place.
Pretty much. I like the concept of the culture park. Earth as a culture park.
Earth is a culture park.
But I'll talk about it after the episode.
So he died for nothing. Really? You'd think the military would be going through all the pictures first and then determining which ones are available to be released.
Oh, your minute is.
Sorry, are we in the 90s or the 80s? Because these mustaches really feel like we're still in the 80s.
George 5.
That's a shot 5.
Shot 5.
Mash, you're needed back in Gundam. Also, the antenna at the bottom is a weird choice.
Yeah.
Or did they just animate it upside down and like kill
Hey,
with it?
there's a
Keep
video
it.
phone, yeah.
怪我の治療とそれから念のため精神安定剤もアンガトさん男の友情に感謝感激あのねまったく今回はちょっと高いわよ分かってるっていつもの口座に振り込んどく
Sorry,
よ
he said Yugi. He said Dear Boy. I heard Yugi Boy. Like he's Pegasus or something.
慌て者
Don't worry, you'll get a lot more motorcycle with Osamu and then Macross 7.
Yeah, well, the girls, yeah, the biker gang that did nothing.
No, what's her name gets taken over by Civil, so she's a plot point for a while.
Nice apartment. Oh,
look, it's what you do if you're a 90s protagonist and you rescue a woman. You strip them naked and put them in your bed. What?
この少女はどこから来たのかそしてなぜこの少女だけがマイクローンの姿だったのか私響はその謎に深く迫っていきたいと思います
From this mystery happening in my apartment right now.
Oh, she's not naked.
He did change her clothes because that's not what she's wearing. So at some point he did make her naked and then
ゼントランダンスカルチャーマカエスケスダメかエスケスタ通じたダンスカルチャーでワルト
So we did learn something from Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Another lesson heroes teach you all the time is that when women don't understand, you just force yourself upon them. What a great show this is turning out to be.
Yeah.
The hero is TMZ, who forces himself on women. Princess Di is gonna love this. She's at least alive for another 5 years. She's an opportunity to see this.
I mean, we've seen worse in Macross.
I'm having a hard time remembering.
I don't want to remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, now he's drugged her. Now it's not worse. Now it's exactly the same.
Oh, he didn't. He's like, well, what are you doing? Apparently, that wasn't the part of the plan for her to fall unconscious. To just be so tired.
And now we know where Mylene got her fashion sense from. It's been 80 years since you saw video cameras for the first time.
Yeah.
俺は別にいいんだ。さて、君のこと少し聞かせてくれないか？朝っぱらからまた。
Oh, I didn't know this was the DC universe.
怖がることはないよ。船のエネルギー暴走さ。なんでも80年ほど前、君たち巨人族に文化を伝えた戦艦だって話だけど。お、時間だ。
Just a thing that happens, you know.
I mean, I would have guessed that it maybe the still sabotage device is still there, but we know they removed that, like, at the beginning of SDF Macross. I do BMs all the time. I sometimes can't stop. It's a real problem.
今回の戦略に対して先ほど統合軍のアレクセイエフ広報主任が記者発表を行いました。発表によりますと、
I got that real problem of having like almost normal names, but then a couple of extra letters.
地球の文化で戦意を失わせることが可能であり、 これ以上の侵略はありえないとのことです。
何言ってんだよ。
では、
ケチョンケチョンに
ここで
負けてたくせに。
SNN が独自に
You, who specifically were talking about how the audience only wants to see us winning, is now complaining that the news is only talking about us winning.
シルビー中尉のバルキリー隊、その全戦闘記録です。
なんだよこれ。都合のいいところだけ繋いでやがる。
You would only have been recording the good parts, as you were talking about. I guess this is just the disillusionment
remember, he
arc.
was listening. Yeah, he was listening to Lone. Yeah,
You mean Dennis?
no, Dennis Lone.
Yeah, but they used their first names here.
響なんですけど。まったくあの野郎。もしもし、何の用
And
だ。
yes, I understand that's what he was doing. I'm talking about how he's a hypocrite right now.
プロデューサーからの指示だよ。報道会議で今回の件は慎重を期すことになったんだ。
冗談でしょ。あの VTR は
Legitimately, the military would have authority about what you will air, so...
こっちにあるのは改ざんコピーだけ。
ふざけるな。局は軍の御用聞きかよ。見てろよ。今にやっと言わせてやる。こっちにはまだ切り札が。
Well, I'm glad you said that on the phone. There's one thing the military never does, right? It's monitor the phone calls people suspect or be a danger would make.
That's a big apartment. That's a weird table thing. You can't hear the
No, I
guitar
hear it.
strings
I hear
that
the
they're
riffs.
playing.
It's just not very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Look, I love a good riff. That's the reason I fell in love with the Magic Knight Rayearth opening. I guess at this point we hadn't learned to do Zentradi ears. Yeah, deculture.
なああんた、退屈してんやったらワイのギグ聞いていかへんか。
We just lost a firebomber in the Battle of the Bands. See, now that's guitar for me. Meanwhile, on MTV, I can't remember the last time I walked up to a woman on the street and just shoved my boombox in her face.
なんやあれ。
I mean, he wasn't being malicious, just overeager, I
Kinda,
guess.
I mean, it kind of was. Playing loud music in someone's face who's literally clutching their ears.
Yeah.
Sorry, due to the animation saving that we're doing,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing is a Twilight Zone episode where one woman is moving around in a world where everyone's frozen in time.
Yeah.
What's going on? Somebody move!
敵が隙間に入り込み、己を惑わす。なぜなの？
Also, the Zentradi soldiers in this look like the Manhunters from DC Comics.
Yeah, with the face thing.
Yeah, the sub-police of the Green Lantern Corps.
Drop the camera, my dude.
He can't. He's TMZ. Also, why is he more comforting than anybody else?
Well,
You
I
woke
guess.
up in his bed?
Yeah.
Well, there goes the rescue party for Ishtar.
ご覧の通りです。先ほど地球に潜入しようとしたポッドもやはり巨人族のものと同機種でした。
敵の前衛艦隊は火星を動いていないと聞いているが、
防衛ラインの隙を突かれたということになるが。
Oh, it is space.
偵察機など。
Yeah, but most of these animes tend to think of space as a two-dimensional plane.
確実なのは歌が通じない以上我々から打って出ることは危険だということ。それだけか。
Yes, all those flashing colors are very instructive.
I mean, very much reminds me of the Legend of Galactic Heroes battle layout thing that we saw before a long time ago. But at least that represented formations moving.
さては惚れたな。あのな、分かってんだろ？あの子は大切な被写体なの。じゃあ、なんですぐ局へ売り込まないの？間違いなくスクープなのに。今はまずい。局のやることは軍に筒抜け。この戦争が終わり
Okay, when is that gonna change?
スクープにしてみせるぜ。
That'll be too late.
After I kill the princess. Yeah, this joke's gonna keep running the entire show, I feel like.
冗談。はいはい、ちゃんと待っててね。あのね、響ちゃん、隠したって無駄よ。私には男心も女心も手に取るようにわかるんだから。勝手にしてくれ。本当に綺麗な髪ね。地球育ちだと絶対こうはならないわ。でもね、どうして響ちゃんのとこ飛び出したりしたの？
And yet still,
順調なの。心配してたんだから。
a little more suppressed than Honey Suzuki.
意地悪したの？
Has more depth, I think, than Honey Suzuki.
巨人たちに恋の歌を伝えたの。あなた恋したことある？いい加減にしろよ、マッシュ。あ。
You are in fact wearing more clothes now.
Yeah.
やめてくれよ。
響ちゃん？
Oh.
Sus, bon desnom bon emulator to Zambal Ion Min Piensa. Sus.
Okay, she's an emulator. And he's worried he couldn't control his people without an emulator. That's not what that is.
No.
I think your images are out of time with your words.
お待たせ。地球の文化を学ぶにはこれに限るってね。行こう。ここにはマクロスが。
I would argue that a library would probably be a better place to learn about Earth. Also, putting all of Earth's cultural relics into one place just feels like it's inviting the aliens to attack.
ね、あの坊やでしょ？また何か企んでるのかな。あの女の子宇宙育ちとか言ってたから、多分。
Her ears are pretty funny.
They're all that way. I haven't mentioned it, but they're all weirdly down and pointed back. Don't stick your hand in. Once you get past the blackness, it disintegrates anything you put inside of it. Now that we're in the Tomb of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, my hand! Now, if my memory serves, there should be a giant glowing gas portal to the left. I'm glad we spent the entire day stalking this guy.
Yeah.
This will prove that he's a real creep. What'd I say? We're inviting the aliens to attack by putting all of our relics in one spot. Wouldn't be Macross without a love triangle.
So far, it doesn't seem like they're doing much of a
It's literally two different women that are very involved in his life. All it has to do is develop a little bit, and it'll be there. I didn't know we had an Eva on their side. The purple one. It looks like Evil 1.
Oh, there goes the Tower of Pisa.
Or a reconstruction of it.
Yeah.
I literally just watched somebody playing GeoGuessr with a not where you think, where everything. You would be surprised how many of those landmarks were just the Leaning Tower of Pisa somewhere else. Seatbelts weren't invented yet.
Yeah.
Laws about seatbelts actually may not have been invented yet.
Yeah.
Well, fighting them in the Colosseum, that's cool.
I like the shot perspective.
I mean, finally. Oh, they're reinforcements, never mind.
That's a lot of shots to get that guy down.
これで12機目だな。
かっこつけないで早くチーフを助けに行って。
え、シルビー注意が？
We really figured out a good way to save money on animating mouths.
なんとか逃げられたのはいいけどよ。なんであんたら軍の不始末で俺たちがこんな目に遭わなきゃいけねえんだよ。
The alternative was what? Getting murdered by missile fire?
今度の敵はね、わからないことが多すぎるのよ。私たちだって必死に。ごめんなさい。私のために。私のため？
イシタル、話すんじゃない。
ありがとう、響き。楽しかった。
Well, I think you really just gave the game away when you said don't tell her. I didn't know there was a secret going on. Also, how do we not know that much about them? Max married, and then Krindak is here. Like, all of that shit still happened. Chris just said there's so much we still don't know about them.
These particular group of people. Because they're not behaving like standard Centrali.
Cool. Not gonna be anything about the Supervision Army. Still hoping. But now the Alice. Or Alice. Yeah, we're here to kick her back. It's also funny that the cockpits are in the heads, but the heads also have faces underneath a mask that comes up.
あの子一体何者？
わからない。
わからないって。
Camera doesn't have a mic in it. I have no idea what they're saying.
俺が知ってるのはあいつらの仲間だってことだけさ。
どういうこと？
俺たちの文化をあの子に伝えるつもりだった。だがこんなことになっちまった。
さあ、イシュタル。
イシュタル！
バカ野郎！タングベルデ！セーフ！
Okay, so I guess it's not all them singing. Although I have to wonder if that doesn't inspire Messer's bracelet from Delta later. I don't think I'm a fan of the News and Trotty mech look.
I like the designs.
No, I'll get to it in a second. I'm assuming the episode's about to finish. I was going to complete the thought, but the episode keeps going.
The ship of Alice.
I like the look. They're cool look. But the thing about the Zentradi mechs before was they didn't so much they look alien, but they looked different. Our thing is like these humanoid mechs and everything. It's like,
yeah,
why did they decide to all go my clone and then make humanoid mechs when they already had stuff similar to that or effectively in the same area as that? So I'm not. That wasn't a question of why they're doing things to be explained later. I mean, I'm just saying that I don't like that they're essentially just doing the same thing as us now, when before they had a clearly identifiable difference in their design. Now they're just like, I feel like Power Ranger villains. Well, they're mecha. They have the like almost a beetle like design to them. I feel like.
Yeah,
and
I saw the blades. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Oh, that one does anyway.
Yeah.
The other ones look pretty much. I mean, the Centrati also did have power armor. The power
I know,
armor,
but even that looks different
like...
because if you think back to Amelia, the fleet that she came from, they were like big old bulky rounded things versus what our mechs look like, which is very squared off. There was a very clear difference between what mech designs came from what, and now they're kind of pushing it into like.
月基地で行われるフェスティバルの最中、イシュタル奪還を狙うフェフの攻撃が始まる。次回、超時空要塞マクロス2フェスティバル。
Festival.
And I'm not saying that I can't tell the difference between the Centrati designs and the UN Spacey designs. It's still fairly obvious. I just think they're starting to blur the line. Like, it's very clear in SDF Macross. It's less clear now.
Yeah, but I think that was even in the original Macross, there was still that evolution of that, because we see later Centrati designs look more power armor and more stuff like that, rather. Although in Delta, they still had some of the.
I'm only comparing it to SDF Macross stuff.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because do you remember Love is still within the SDF Macross space, although I'm only really myself comparing it to SDF Macross. Future stuff is going to take its cues from SDF Macross and this, and whatever else they want to include. So I'm only including what came before. So in the 80-year time span, they decided to start making their shit look more like human shit for some reason.
Yeah.
Which I just don't like, because design-wise, it's easier for me to spot a human thing from their things if they look different.
Yeah.
And they still look different, but they're starting to blur the line. As I said, I could see one of those taking enough damage and then getting confused.
Either way, the pacing, I guess I remember that a lot of the stuff happened quicker, but then again, we only have 6 episodes on the OVA, so ironically, they seem to be taking their time where I thought it happened quicker.
Macross, do you remember pacing?
Yeah. No, I mean, the pacing's not bad. It's just, I fear that that's always the thing with Macross, right? Sometimes the pacing is just off.
Well, I mean, I'm watching this one, and it's just making me think of that one segment of Heavy Metal. You remember where the cabbie picks up the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought about this. Like, obviously, there's a whole subplot going on there, because that whole segment is less time than this episode. But, they do stuff. There's a whole plot going on there, where this is just, let's introduce her to culture. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That didn't do anything,
that's
really.
That's kind of the point. And it does keep with the theme of the original, which was the clash of cultures, right? Which I like.
I don't see that there's much of a point anymore to that element. The thing at play here is that she's already been exposed to it, for one thing. Another thing is that we just saw it didn't work in a previous fight. Like, they fought their way through it. And then from the meta perspective, if you're right about her singing, then this is the one character who's not going to be affected by it. From our perspective as the viewer of the show.
I mean, you could...
Again, her being the counter. I'm not asking you to spoil anything. I'm just pointing out things we've already talked about. You indicated that they countered the culture thing, and that she's the one that did it. And if you're pointing it out, that means that you saw that in the show. So that's something the viewer should already see. So if we're to think that there's a character on the Centrati side that's not going to be affected by culture, it's the one who's countering culture. I'm using you as the perspective person who's watching the show. So the stuff that you've already hit me with from our discussion from last episode is the reason why I think this is pointless this episode. And what I would indicate towards that we should have cut that off earlier. Like, I don't fault the character. We're thinking, let me introduce the Centrali person to culture and see how that goes. he wouldn't know. We, the viewer, would know. So, we, the viewer, knowing, that should have been a shorter segment. He should see, oh, this isn't doing anything, and we move on to the next plot point.
There's an explanation that I cannot give you because
As
it's
I
a
already said,
significant
not
part.
asking you to say spoilers. You don't even have to introduce the fact that you know spoilers. You've seen it before. I'm not, like, throwing out there, hey, hit me with something you don't know. I'm explaining my thought process from the stuff that you've said, and then said when it happened in an episode. Again, I'm only taking cues from what you said last episode about counter culture thing, right?
Well, because the music, they countered their music with music, not necessarily culture with culture. There's a difference.
I know there's a difference. I said that either at the beginning of this episode when we were talking about Culture Park, or last episode describing what culture is. But my point being is that we have already been shown an aspect of that not working. So I feel like we, the viewer, are then supposed to suspect that this isn't going to work. So spending the majority of the episode on it doesn't feel like it's good time management.
We'll see. It's one of the things that we have. It may or may not make sense depending on.
I think you're putting all your eggs into a basket that they don't need to be in.
Yeah.
Because you keep saying you'll see, and it's like, I'm not asking about will they explain it. My assumption from the get-go is that any question I have is going to be explained. So you don't have to tell me, oh, they will explain it. Don't make me into the position of assuming that the show is going to be bad, right? If you have to tell me, oh, don't worry about it, they'll explain it. Good. That's my base point, that they're going to explain anything that's a question. So don't, like, did that person die? Don't worry, they'll show you when they die. Thank God.
Yeah, it's one of the things about knowing stuff and not being able to share it.
Well, again, I'm trying to introduce the concept to you that you don't have to. Stop sharing, in fact. Stop even thinking about sharing. Only deal with stuff that's on the screen. Like, if you're looking at a thing and you're like, well, this doesn't get answered till later, don't deal with it then. Like, especially if I don't bring it up, because you're acting like I'm asking questions about why isn't she having a problem with culture? And I'm like, they'll explain it later. It's like, no, I'm not even asking that. I'm not bringing that up. I'm bringing up the fact that you introduced the concept that she's like an anti-culture thing for the singing stuff earlier. And I'm saying, well, they've introduced that in this episode again, and then they dealt with it for a while, and I don't feel like that's worth dealing with the time span that they do it for, because they've already introduced the concept that the Zentradi are introducing anti-culture things to try and fight the human culture aspect. So having that been shown, and then you saying it out loud, and that's something that we saw last episode, and I'm using you as the viewpoint of the viewer who knows what's going on based on what they saw already, that from my perspective, it's not flippancy anymore. It is actually what a viewer is supposed to know. So I'm not asking you to explain a thing. I'm just pointing out stuff. There's a difference between a question and a statement, and I think it's typically inflection. I'm not inflecting towards a question. There's no, is this what's happening? It's, this is what's happening.
But context matters.
Not in this aspect. There is no context. I'm not giving any context that's questionable. I am making statements, giving evidence, and then making what would we say, an end statement? Typically how I do my notes, right? I'll say a thing, and then explain it by something you've said, or quote a thing from the show, or reference something that we've seen, and then make a final statement to justify the thing that I just referenced. That is what I'm doing here. If I was making a question, I would be more interrogative. This is clearly I'm just talking at you, less talking with you.
Well, then I have nothing to say.
Well, that's the problem, is I can't talk with you because of your knowledge of what's happening. I can't question you, because that's what brings forth the, well, I can't spoil, or I don't want to ruin anything. I'm not asking you to. So I can't talk with you. I can only talk at you. That's not an aspect of how our normal conversations go or anything. That's just an aspect of you knowing what's going on.
So, well, you know what? Let's change tacks because this is post both the movie and the original series. And you talk about how the cultural park and all that, but I think also the impression is that this is a post-apocalyptic Earth.
Also, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Hold on, let's rewind for a second. We we more than decimated. We blew up the surface of the Earth mostly.
Yeah.
How do these landmarks fucking survive? We rebuild
I think
them?
Recreate. Probably some of them are recreations.
I know it's something I said during the episode, like I brought up the whole Google Maps. What do you call it?
Yeah.
The one where they put you in Street View when you try and figure out where you are. Whatever that game was called. Where they have a specific map where it's not where you think you are, or it's not that one. And one that came up a lot was literally the Leaning Tower of Pisa, where I think one was in Hong Kong. I thought they were going to be in Las Vegas because I think.
They are recreations. They have to be recreations because there's the Wall of China, right? It's so wherever they're putting on Earth Macross City, which I think this is what it is, Macross City.
Macross City.
The ship.
Sorry, Megamind. It's a Megamind joke.
Yeah.
Metro City.
That's what
Metrocity. Macross City. Macrossity.
That's where the Macross landed, and then they built a city around it.
Yeah, Macross Plus hasn't happened yet, so we haven't built this whole city around it like in Macross Plus.
No, you see the
it's not the
ship
same.
of Alice.
It's not the same as the Macross Plus. Macross Plus was very developed, whereas this seems like it's more SDF Macross. Like I could still see them doing the power lines from the SDF Macross to the city.
We see buildings and all that pretty extensively, so.
Okay, I need you to apparently rewatch Macross Plus episode 4 because this is not as developed as that at all.
I think its style is different. Macross Plus, the style is more contemporary.
No, Macross Plus is like they put New York around the SDF Macross, whereas this feels like we're still building up after the war ended.
Seems like they pretty built up the place, with headquarters for SNN and shopping
you
malls
understand
and all kinds.
UN had a headquarters after the SDF Macross landed. Having a headquarters does not make you rebuilt.
Well, the headquarters was the Macross originally.
It's the center of the city. I'm saying if you compare the two, this is not even close.
But to disagree.
Oh, I didn't get that. I thought the last 5 minutes of debate was because you agreed with me, but had very salient, tiny points that you wanted to debate. Not that you just kept telling me it was built up over and over again.
You have all the kinds of infrastructure that they have, including the skyways, I think, between the buildings. In fact, it almost feels like they're living semi-underground. Because some of the buildings look like there's buildings on top of them that cover them. So
nothing says we've rebuilt completely like people living underground. Again, my point is what I said before is that this feels like this is the halfway point to Macross Plus. Macross Plus feels like a vibrant living city. It's lit up constantly. It has multicolored cityscapes, city fronts and everything. This place is like built of granite. It's like white. Feels like stone. It feels like it's still being developed. It's not as tall as Macross Plus was. As you pointed out, feels like they're still living underground.
You know what? It reminds me of there's a city in China that's kind of built like that, which, I don't want to start looking for it but you can look a video where there's this guy talking about where this in China. Can you tell me where the ground is? And the ground is like
I've
20
seen that
levels
short before.
Well, that's the feeling I get from this series. They gone vertical.
I know what you're trying to get into, but I disagree with that point too, because this feels like it's the areas you're describing in this show, not in real life, feels like it's just an industrial area that we have elevated roads going over industrial zones, which is something that we saw at the end of SDF Macross when we were looking at Macross City. So again, this feels like it's some point between, again, I'm sorry, I've entered that mode where my brain just repeats the same word over and over again, which is to say, I feel like this is like the middle point between SDF Macross and getting to Macross Plus, which isn't even in the same timeline. I'm just indicating that Macross Plus feels like it's a fully developed city that we're not even building up anymore. Now it's maintenance, versus this place feels like it's still being built up, in my opinion. Like this is the city where we're propositioning possibly building the Sears Tower, versus Macross Plus, a place where the Sears Tower has existed for 100 years.
Well then, that was my take on it.
So, once again, I've been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?